Most people think of tea as one of the safest things they can put in their body. It's associated with calm, tradition, and longevity. For many, it replaces sugary drinks and even coffee. But there's a lesser-known pattern hiding in plain sight. Some of the most popular tea brands on supermarket shelves consistently test higher for contaminants, rely on aggressive processing, or use ingredients that quietly undermine the very health benefits tea is known for. What makes this easy to miss is that none of it feels dramatic. The effects don't show up overnight. They show up slowly, over years, especially in people who drink tea daily or share food and drink habits with pets. If you care about long-term health, this is one of those areas where awareness matters more than hype. And if you value careful, evidence-based food guidance like this, consider subscribing to Food Red Flag so you don't miss future breakdowns. Tea itself isn't the problem. The plant Camellia sinensis can be remarkably beneficial. The issue lies in how it's grown, processed, packaged, and marketed. Once you understand those layers, certain brands stand out not because they're evil, but because they consistently cut corners in ways that add up over time. Before talking about brands, it helps to understand why tea is unusually vulnerable to contamination. Tea plants are efficient bioaccumulators. They absorb substances from soil, water, and air more readily than many other crops. That includes beneficial minerals, but it also includes heavy metals like lead, cadmium, and aluminum. Unlike fruits you peel or rinse thoroughly, tea leaves are dried and concentrated. When you brew them, you're extracting whatever is in those leaves directly into hot water. Repeated daily exposure, even at low levels, is where concern begins, particularly for children, older adults, pregnant individuals, and pets who may ingest small amounts indirectly. Processing matters too. Lower-grade teas are often made from older leaves, dust, or fannings left over after higher grades are sold loose. These fragments have a higher surface area, which can increase the extraction of contaminants and bitter compounds. Add artificial flavorings, bleached tea bags, or plastic-based materials, and the equation changes again. Some mass-market tea brands rely heavily on low-grade sourcing to maintain price and volume. Several widely sold black and green tea brands consistently fall into this category. These brands prioritize uniform taste and shelf stability over leaf quality. Independent testing over the years has shown that some of these teas contain higher than ideal levels of lead or aluminum, particularly when brewed for longer than recommended. The risk isn't acute poisoning, it's cumulative exposure layered on top of everything else people consume. For adults who drink multiple cups daily, this can quietly contribute to neurological stress or kidney burden over time. For pets, especially cats, even trace amounts matter more because of their smaller size and different detoxification pathways. Many pet owners don't realize that sharing sips of tea or leaving mugs unattended can expose animals to compounds they process poorly. Flavored teas often hide additional risks behind the word natural. One of the most overlooked issues is flavored tea blends. When a label says natural flavors, it doesn't necessarily mean herbs or fruit pieces. It can refer to flavor compounds derived through chemical processes. These additives are approved for human consumption in small amounts, but their interaction with hot water and repeated daily intake isn't always well studied. Some popular fruit and dessert-style teas also include dried citrus peel or spices sourced from regions with looser pesticide controls. When these ingredients aren't organically certified or rigorously tested, residue becomes part of the final brew. Again, this doesn't cause immediate symptoms, which is why it's so often ignored. For pets, the concern is sharper. Citrus compounds, essential oils, and certain spices can be irritating or toxic to animals, even if they're harmless to humans. tea bags themselves can change what ends up in your cup. Many inexpensive tea brands still use paper tea bags treated with epichlorohydrin to improve strength. This compound can break down into substances that interact with chlorine in water. Other brands use nylon or PET plastic mesh bags, which can release microplastics when steeped in hot water. Some herbal teas are especially risky because they aren't technically tea at all. Chamomile, peppermint, hibiscus, and detox blends don't come from the tea plant. They're herbal infusions, and they fall under different regulatory scrutiny in many countries. Some popular brands source these herbs from multiple regions and blend them without transparent testing. Certain herbs naturally concentrate heavy metals. Others interact with medications or affect liver enzymes over time. While these risks are usually small, daily consumption magnifies them. What's marketed as calming or cleansing can become problematic when consumed habitually without awareness. For pets, many herbal ingredients are outright inappropriate. Chamomile, for example, is often assumed to be gentle, but concentrated forms can cause vomiting or allergic reactions in dogs and cats. Caffeine content is another variable that isn't always disclosed clearly. Black and green teas can vary widely in caffeine depending on leaf age, processing, and brewing time. Some brands blend teas in a way that creates unpredictable caffeine levels. For sensitive individuals, older adults, or those with anxiety or sleep issues, this inconsistency matters. Pets are far more sensitive to caffeine. Even small amounts can cause restlessness, rapid heart rate, or gastrointestinal upset. Many cases go unnoticed because symptoms are mild or attributed to something else. Two tea brands stand out for consistently doing things differently. Not all tea is created equal, and this isn't about perfection, it's about patterns. Brands that prioritize single origin sourcing, third-party testing, and minimal processing consistently show lower contaminant levels and fewer unnecessary additives. One example is loose-leaf teas sourced from regions with established soil testing and organic practices. These brands tend to publish their sourcing information and avoid artificial flavors entirely. Another is companies that use unbleached paper bags or encourage loose-leaf brewing, reducing both chemical and microplastic exposure. These teas often cost a bit more, but the difference reflects agricultural and testing standards, not marketing fluff. For people who drink tea daily, this is one of those upgrades that quietly pays off over years. Awareness matters more than avoidance alone. The goal isn't to fear tea or obsess over every cup. It's to understand how repeated low-level exposures shape health over time. Small choices, made consistently, matter more than dramatic detoxes or rigid rules. For pet owners, awareness is an act of care. Knowing which foods and drinks interact poorly with animal biology helps prevent subtle chronic issues that don't show up in dramatic ways. Most harm in this area comes from good intentions combined with missing information. Tea can absolutely be part of a thoughtful, health-supportive routine, but like many everyday foods, the details matter more than the category label. If you found this breakdown useful and value calm, responsible food guidance without fear-based hype, subscribe to Food Red Flag, share this video with someone who drinks tea daily or cares deeply about their pets. Food awareness isn't about perfection. It's about paying attention, over time, to the patterns that quietly shape our health.